All right, stat of the game, I already gave it. Tua Tagovailoa absolutely crushing it in yards per attempt. He's second in the NFL behind Jalen Hurts, 8.2 or more yards per attempt in all 3 games. Bengals defense is very weird. They are second in the NFL in yards per attempt allowed. In fact, only Philadelphia is better. So that means the Eagles are number 1 in yards per attempt on offense and defense in terms of passing. That's crazy. But the Bengals have the second lowest yards per attempt allowed, yet they've given up the 6th most pass plays of 20-plus yards, 6th most pass plays of 25-plus yards. What they haven't given up are those big 30, 40, 50-yard pass plays. But look who they faced, Heath. Pittsburgh, Dallas without Dak, and the Jets. Here come the Dolphins. Is this just a basically start everyone kind of game, except maybe not the Dolphins running backs?
Yeah, that's what it feels like. It's you're definitely starting the top 2 wide receivers on both teams. You're starting the quarterbacks as long as Tua is okay. You can't get away from Joe Mixon. I'm not starting the tight ends either. So I would start Chase Edmonds over Raheem Mostert, but he's just as a flex. And I'm not buying Tyler Boyd.
All right. I mean, is there anything that, we got to talk more about Tua and Burrow, I guess.
Yeah.
But in terms of the wide receivers, Dave, the top 2 on each team, just plain and simple, just start them both.
Start them. There's way too much upside. I think a case could be made for Boyd this week, too. I think the Bengals are going to crush him. I think the Bengals are going to pretty much have their way with him. This Dolphins defense played 92 snaps last week. McDaniel admitted on Monday that the team is just gassed after that game. They are now playing on a short week on the road. It's going to be really, really hard for them to put up a big effort. But McDaniel knows this. I originally was going to say, well, they're just going to slow down the game and they're just going to, try and dominate time of possession with their offense. But they already do play at a pretty slow pace. So I don't know if that's necessarily something different for them. Maybe it's good that they've been playing at the slow pace because it's going to take the offense dominating playing time in order for them to be able to stay in the game. But I think when the Bengals are on the field, Burrow will be fine. I think the offensive line will be able to handle the Dolphins pass rush. And I think that it's all systems go for pretty much every Bengal. And Tua makes me nervous because he's going to see a lot of zone coverage. I don't think they're going to blitz him that much. And the secondary for the Bengals, I know they haven't played anybody amazing. They've played really, really well.
Yeah.
When they allow a catch, they usually don't allow a lot of yards after the catch. When they do, it's been to Tony Pollard on a little swing pass, or it's been to Zach Gentry on a just a funky play against the Steelers. So there's always the potential for it, and that's why you'll consider Tua as a starter. But he's not top 12 for me as we sit here right now.
All right. Who are some guys you have ahead of him? I mean, you wouldn't go like Mariota, would you?
I would not go Mariota, but when I look at quarterbacks that aren't named Josh, Lamar, Jalen, Mahomes, I'm looking for guys that can get me close to 25 fantasy points. I think Cousins, I think he can get there. I think Carr can get there. I think Rodgers against the Patriots can get there. Maybe Stafford, maybe Wentz. That's one I'm not sure on. Maybe Russ. That's one I'm not sure on. So Tua right now is behind everybody I've named. But he could move up ahead. Even Carson Wentz, yeah. But I might move. There's a chance I can move Tua ahead of Wentz and Wilson. And maybe Stafford too. But he does make me nervous between the injuries he has and the way that this Bengals defense has played and the short week. There's definite upside with Tua. But I'm not sure he's going to give us another 6-touchdown game or even 3.
I'll take the under on 6. Heath, your thoughts on Tua and Burrow? And yeah, it is definitely worth mentioning that Tua is playing with a back injury. If he even plays, we expect him to play. But your thoughts on the quarterbacks?
Yeah, they're pretty, like, as bad as quarterback has been, as many quarterbacks as I have to be concerned about, they're pretty much starts if I have them. I'm starting both of them over Rodgers and Cousins and Kyler and Wilson and Brady and a bunch of guys that we drafted before them.
All right, so you're higher on Tua at least.
And it's not so much that I necessarily think the concerns that Dave has about Tua are wrong. It's just I don't have any reason to feel good about the guys who have been even worse than him.
Anything?
Well, they certainly don't have the upside that Tua has.
Yeah. Anything to say about Edmonds or Mostert here?
I'd rather not, but Edmonds is a fine flex.
You know, Mostert has actually outcarried him 2 straight games. Edmonds got the 2 goal line touchdowns. Nothing makes sense. And the Bengals run defense, as I just mentioned, takes a serious hit. Do you like without DJ Reader, do you like the DSTs?
Not really.
Okay. And is Joe Mixon in your top 12 this week?
I'm pretty sure he is. Yes,
He is. Yeah, for sure.
Oh no, he's 15th for me, but that could change.
Okay. I mean, he's just been so bad, but how can you get away from him? Okay, he's
okay. If he's running against a defense that's tired after playing on Sunday, then he should throttle them.
He's going to be started in almost every league.
Of course, like there's no way to talk somebody out of sitting Joe Mixon.
Starting Joe Mixon, yeah. Okay, and I guess we're going to sit Hayden Hurst after his dud last week. All right, Dave, that's Thursday Night Football. Who wins?
No.
Wait. Who wins? Who wins?
Bengals by 14.
I'm not betting against the Dolphins anymore.
I think the Dolphins are just a better team. I am worried about I think the Bengals win. I don't think the Bengals are going 1-3. I don't think the Dolphins are going 4-0. Bengals.
I do think like the Bengals are playing on a short week as well. They might be tired too.
They didn't, but the Dolphins were on the field for over 40 minutes in that game.
The defense.
Their offense wasn't. Their offense should be fresh.
You know, what would be smart for the Dolphins to do is to try and run the ball better than they have all season and try and dedicate themselves to it.